Hello, my name is Steve Bigelow with the Candlestick Forum. We probably have seen a market change this week. We can see that the Dow is still stuck in this wedge formation, and it traded lower on a Friday. But more importantly, after the gap up in the NASDAQ in the overbought area, they tried to take it back up, but closed it back below the open of Friday and closed it back below the open. Remember, the gap up kind of gives you an alert. There might be some exuberance up here. That makes the prospect of coming back to test the T-line viable. Same scenario over here on the S&P 500. They gapped it up, but then gapped it back down and traded well below the previous day's open. That is a very strong candlestick reversal indication. It's not yet a reversal signal. However, if they open the S&P lower on Monday and trade lower, you've got a bearish flutter kicker telling you there's a lot of selling to the downside. So the sectors to watch this week are the shipping stocks and the specialty retail stocks to go short. So you can see in patterns like ZIM, that big fry pan bottom, and they're starting to break out on this side. There's probably a lot more upside potential. So keep an eye on these. If they start trading positive, all good bullish charts. But the specialty retail area like Wayfair did kind of an evening star signal. Makes this very easy to identify as far as a short position. If they open this lower, confirming on Monday, the next likely target is at least back down here. Amazon got hit pretty hard. It actually opened lower, meaning below the previous day's open, and closed back below those levels. So take a look at these as far as shorts. But the important factor to remember is when you see these patterns, AI, which apparently is doing some partnership with Microsoft, this is the expectation you have coming out of a fry pan bottom, is a strong price move. So even though the market in general turned around, you can still see that AI continued strong. Same thing on Carvana. When we saw this left-right combo, J-hook plus pattern, told us we were likely in an uptrend. So even though it opened lower on Friday, it closed above where it opened, still telling us the bulls are in this type of chart. On some of the short potentials, you can see how the stochastics in the overbought area is starting to roll over. There was a failure in MRTX at the T-line. If it starts trading back below the, at the 50, if it starts trading back below the T-line, look for strong move to the downside, especially with that little doji bearish confirmation. Z-Lab, you can see the dumpling top, and they gapped this one down. This usually is an indication that they could start crashing this. Again, that's the expectation coming out of a dumpling top. So as the opposite of a fry pan bottom that breaks out big to the upside, the dumpling top usually has a lot of force to the downside. Anytime you see that big gap down, like we saw in AE, that usually tells you there's a lot of weakness. It's going to continue to trade lower. So you might see that same thing happen in Bill, where you have this big bearish kicker signal. That usually indicates there's obviously a major change of investor sentiment, usually followed by more downside. Or a bearish best friend signal, as you will see in SKX. That usually implies there's going to be a lot more downside. So the basic visual analysis of candlestick signals is, even though you can, or especially when you can analyze, there might be a rollover in the market indexes, even if it's short term, the strong sell signals are probably going to be enhanced in this weak market. So this type of information is, again, just kind of logic, common sense built into candlestick signals. So if you haven't joined us, join us for a 2-week free trial. Again, we call this the horseradish marketing that H.J. Heinz used here in Pittsburgh to get his business off the ground. He put his horseradish in clear bottles so everybody could see the quality, and he let everybody taste it. And that's exactly what we're doing. The 2-week free trial is to kind of illustrate that there's a lot of common sense in what moves prices. That'll be it. We'll see you in the chat rooms.